What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today, this video gonna be a little bit different. Um, I had a request for this video this morning, so I told them I'll drop it today. We're gonna be talking about if y'all follow football, the Seattle Seahawks versus the 49ers, undefeated 49ers at that. So that's gonna be a big time game. I'm bad. It's gonna be a big time game. Monday Night Football. I think it's Monday night. I think it's Monday Night Football. Actually, I'm a Seahawks fan. But yeah, realistically, I think it's gonna be a good game because they have a good offense, but the defense is. I don't think the defense is that good. I know their offense is pretty good. Seattle is known for stopping the run game, so I think Jimmy Garoppolo ain't gonna have that many running options. Now he is not Jimmy Garoppolo is not a running threat like Lamar Jackson was for us. I feel like we could stop him. As long as we get our pass rush right, we're gonna be straight. So it might be like the Rams game, and it might be a blowout. You never know. It's football, but I think it's gonna be a pretty close game because both teams got some good players, and then they have Emmanuel Sanders and we have Josh Gordon, and it's gonna be hopefully Josh Gordon is playing that game for sure. Remember I got another notification, but hopefully he's playing that game. I think the score is gonna be. Let me see. I go either they're gonna score 20s or 30. No, either 20 to 40. So I think it's gonna be. I'll say 37-34, win by field goal. Because honestly, it's hot. They both high power teams. Unless our defense really gets their game up and play like they're supposed to play, then we taking that. But I'm not saying we're not gonna win. I'm not saying we're not gonna lose. I'm saying that it's gonna be a good game. And then let me see what else. My honest opinion, I'm a Seahawks fan, so I'm like, I don't think we're gonna lose that game. We've owned the 49ers the last 4 or 5 games we played them. They only beat us once. That was last year. On the back on the It was that. They beat us one time. So therefore, I think it's gonna be a pretty good game against an undefeated team. Divisional. It's a division route. It's not a division. The last time we played them, the time we beat them, we scored 42 points. It was 42-14. Hopefully that happens again. I don't know. Like I said, they're an undefeated team this year, which really don't mean nothing because they've been playing. They got an easy schedule. So yeah, it's an undefeated team. My back itch. It's an undefeated team. I'm gonna show y'all some highlights. I'm gonna show y'all some highlights at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. An undefeated team, but at the end of the day, they still gotta play football. We're always talking. They gotta play, but let's see. They're undefeated, division rival. And we fighting for the top spot. So we're 7-2 and they're 8-0. Hopefully, we win. Hopefully we win. We'll be 8-2. And then they 8-1. Then they lose another 8-2. Then we win another 9-2. You know what I'm saying? That way we get up there. But honestly, I think that the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers are two teams that can really they can go to the divisional playoffs. As it did along what was it, 2012? Yeah, because we won the Super Bowl in 2012. We went back in 2014 and lost the Patriots on that. I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, I think that it's gonna be a good game. Now, as football stuff happens, um, hopefully Jimmy G throw them picks. They fumble. Hope they go all wrong. But again, I'm not throwing no hate, but I'm a Seahawks fan. I don't want nobody else to beat my team. So, um, yeah, it should be a good game. The 49ers, I'm not gonna say they're trash, but they play easy teams. But like everybody else says, a win is a win. I give them their credit. They've been they ain't played the Saints yet, but they've been doing their thing. Let me see. I don't think they played the Ravens yet. I don't know if they played the Ravens. I know they played the Saints, and I don't plan on the Saints losing that game. Um, Let me see. Like I said, we could win if they put Jimmy G on lock. If the pass rush is good, A1 again, the game we can win. But we have one of the best quarterbacks in primetime games. We have one of the best quarterbacks in Russell Wilson in primetime games. Now, the primetime games that the 49ers have had, they played the Browns and what's they play? They played somebody. Basically, no talented teams. My bad, my girlfriend texted me. But no talented teams. So yeah, we gonna I gonna see a clip after this, like I said before. And yeah. But I seen it been a close game. I have a friend, he's a big 49ers fan. I gotta give him his props. He been there. He been a fan of them since they was like 4-12. I think they was 4-12. Something like that. But he stuck by their side. And I gotta give him his props. But hey, bro, y'all, he told me, he like, bro, be realistic. And like, don't, just cause you a Seahawks fan, you don't gotta hype the game up too much. Like, nah, bro, I'm gonna be real. But at the end of the day, it's football. We can't. I don't really talk trash before a big game because I learned that you talk trash and then everything go wrong. I'm good with that one. So I don't talk trash no more before big games. Now leading up to the game, I talk a lot of trash, but when it's gonna be that day, you're gonna hear from me anytime until the game over. And if we win, I'm gonna blow your phone up. I'm gonna get on you. Especially because they're an undefeated team and they'll be the first loss on their record. So the Seattle Seahawks giving the 49ers their first loss on their record, that's a big game for us. Like I said, the video was suggested. I got some big announcements for y'all today. I have, let me see what it's called. I forgot. It's a lot of stuff. I already sold one. Okay. I have 4 iPhone 7 Plus and 8 Plus cases. 4 of those ready for y'all. They're 25 to 50, they're 15 and 25 each. The new Beat stereo headphones, sports, that Dre came out with. I got 2 of those. Really one because I already sold one. The iPhone 7 case, it's like a mirror. Those go for 15 to 25. And I got female 8 plus, 7 plus and 8 plus iPhone cases. Now, and I'm doing deals for y'all. If y'all order, okay, you come to me and say, you can hit me up on Instagram or anything like that. Then I got another video coming out after this one, but hit me up on Instagram. You can get. I can do this. Okay. you can get. So really, I have. Okay, I have the red iPhone cases for 7 plus and 8 plus, and then I have the mirror iPhone cases for 7 and 8. But if you're a female, or not even a female, if you interested in buying more than one case, I got your deal 2 for $50. Cause you really gonna pay more than that in the store. So it's gonna be 2 for $50, or we can negotiate something that we feel like is reasonable. With the AirPods, I got one sold for 50, and it's the iPhone case with the AirPods, with the Beat AirPods for $50, and yeah. So I have one pair, but really I probably go back and get some more. Uh, okay, that doesn't make sense, but okay, let's change that. I have two AirPods, Beats AirPods, ready for sale. I can do, okay, I can do a if you got a 7 plus, 8 plus, and you're a boy, I have a red case for that. Or if you're a girl, that's why it looks like that. Okay, so I have two. Okay, it's getting confusing. I have one Beats AirPods, and if that's what you want, hit me up. We can work out a deal. I can send them to you right there. But I have two. I have. Okay, I gotta redo this because it's messed up. Bad. Okay, so this we're gonna do. Girl iPhone cases, 15 to 25. Boy iPhone cases, 15 to 25. I'm trying to redo this because I messed it up. I want to tell number what I got before I end this video. I'm scrolling down to see what it's gonna be like. What the hell I can't find. I have some pretty good iPhone cases for girls, but I can't find them now. Where are they? Okay, so this is what I have. I have okay, them not gonna work. No bad. I'm trying to find some more because the ones I had, as any person moving, I can't find them again. Mm. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so I have luxury silicone iPhone case for 8 um 876 6S plus 5X plus um X XR XX Max. Okay, so if y'all want that, let me know. I got all of that. Um, so this is what I have. We're talking about the iPhones that I just told you about. That's for girls. Boys iPhone. And I got one for unisex. Like it's just a mirror thing. And I have one Beats AirPods to go. If y'all want more Beats AirPods, I gotta let me know. I can order them and do that. But yeah, so now these are deals I can do. Okay, if you buy, I'm selling the case for 25. So 15 to 25. So if you buy the any iPhone case, it don't matter which one it is, and AirPods, I give it to you for 50. If you get two iPhone cases, no matter which ones it is, either it's gonna be 20 or 25. Okay, yeah, 20 and 25. I will have more stuff than that soon. I want to see about getting more of the Beats AirPods soon. Um, but yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do. And the boys' cases, the regular boys' cases, are gonna be red. The mirrors are I got 5 of those. And yeah, like I said, they for boy and girls too, unisex. So yeah, we rocking. If y'all interested in buy anything, hit me up at my Instagram. My name will be in the description below. I will we can work out a deal or whatever. Like I said, any two cases that you want, I give you, what did I say, what, 25? 20 to 25 for 2 cases. No. It would be 30 for 2 because, yeah, 30 for 2 because in the stores it's 15 a piece. So 30 for 2, and then in case you want 30 for 2, but if you want the AirPods with the iPhone case, it's gonna be 50. So if y'all want something, hit me up on my Instagram. Like I said, My name will be in the description below. Go shout out to my boy Howard. It's my cousin. He on the same. He trying to get his YouTube built up too. So go subscribe to him, and I'll be doing iPod giveaway soon, the Beats version. But you have to subscribe to my channel. No, wait, okay. If you watch it, go watch my last video. Not the last video, but the video after this. Did I even upload that? Let me see if I uploaded it. I might have uploaded it. But I already uploaded that. Let me see. I uploaded so many videos, I forgot which one I uploaded. I uploaded like 5. Okay. Yes, it's called Vlog plus AirPod giveaway. And yeah. Vlog plus AirPod giveaway. Go look at that video. If y'all haven't already watched it, go watch that. And y'all see what I gotta do for that. We'll be working on getting more AirPods. If they sell out, I'll be working on getting more AirPods. If you have any questions about the price range or anything like that, we can work it out. But like I said, 2 for $30. And if you want the iPhone, any iPhone case, don't matter which one it is. If you want an iPhone case with the AirPods, it's gonna be $50. We can talk all the details in that when you hit me up. But I will post it on my Instagram also when it comes in, so y'all can see the finished product. I'll make a video with it and everything. Yeah, that's gonna be about it. Like I said, stay tuned for the clip that's gonna be ahead of this video. Like after this video, there's gonna be Seahawks and 49ers. Something that I saw the other day that I thought that were really cool. So y'all stay tuned for that. Love y'all. See y'all later. And don't forget, work hard, stay humble. Peace.
The ball back after the Hawks offense. There have been certain select times in NFL history where the stakes were raised. The game becomes about more than simply winning or losing. What transpires on the field is more akin to war. A grueling battle of wills. Which man, which team is tough enough to withstand the knockdown, drag-out battle royale that has suddenly commenced? In 2013, the Seattle Seahawks and San Francisco 49ers played in just such a game. The two back-alley brawlers of the NFC West went toe-to-toe in one of the most epic games in Seahawks history. Billed as a duel between the next two great quarterbacks of the future, it instead quickly turned into a bloodbath. A battle of attrition. It was hard to figure out whether the game was going to be decided by points, or who was tougher, or maybe both. Not since the recent Ravens-Steelers dust-ups had the increasingly finesse-driven NFL seen two teams so determined to beat one another into submission. This was also the playoffs, where the referees swallow whistles and men are made. As if the game needed more competitive ammunition, the winner was headed to the Super Bowl. Conference championships are already incredibly competitive affairs, yet there was even more involved in this game to ratchet that intensity up even further. The head coaches appeared to despise one another, and the animosity seemed to flow down to the players as there was a palpable contempt whenever they squared off. To top it off, they played in the same division twice a year, and familiarity truly bred contempt. The stage was set for a reckoning. When John Harbaugh got the head coaching job at Stanford, he instantly declared upon his arrival that Pete Carroll, head coach of the powerhouse USC Trojans, would be out of a job within a year, and Harbaugh was inferring that his success was going to be the cause of Pete's demise. Coach Carroll shrugged off the upstart's comments, but the yearly game between USC and Stanford became much-watched television. The coaching rivalry reached a crescendo when Harbaugh brazenly tried to run up the score in a Cardinal win at the Coliseum. Coach Carroll had had enough of Harbaugh's shenanigans and confronted him at midfield after the game in this now famous moment. The coaching rivalry died down when Carroll decided to return to the pro ranks as head coach of the Seahawks, but then Jim Harbaugh was not far behind him, as a year later he took a head coaching position with the 49ers. The Miami Dolphins also offered Harbaugh the same position. He rejected them, despite the owner being a fellow University of Michigan alum and offering to make Harbaugh the highest paid coach in the NFL. Rumor has it, he wanted another piece of Coach Carroll and chose a team in the NFC West just for the chance to play him twice a year. Coach Harbaugh enjoyed instant NFL success, while conversely he was also starting to look like Carroll's coaching Achilles heel. His 49ers reached the conference championship and Super Bowl in his first two respective seasons, while Coach Carroll's team started out 0-3 against this 49er juggernaut. That all came to a halt in their final divisional matchup before the playoffs began in 2012. The Seahawks pummeled the 49ers on that prime-time Monday night matchup. Beast mode rumbled like the Tasmanian devil. Russell bled nearly a half a quarter's worth of clock scrambling circles around Ahmad Brooks, and Bam Bam Cam took years off the life of Vernon Davis when he depleted his body from his soul. It was such a satisfying victory as Seattle was working their way up the mountaintop. Pete Carroll couldn't quite help but revel at the end of the game when an assistant coach inquired what Harbaugh must be feeling on the opposing sideline. In the playoffs that season, the Seahawks just missed playing the 49ers again. They came up a field goal short against the Falcons from heading to San Francisco for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. The 49ers win instead, but the next season it was crystal clear which two teams were the true titans of the NFC. Aaron Rodgers was in his prime, and the Green Bay Packers were good, but their defense had no answer for Colin Kaepernick. The New Orleans Saints were in cap hell with Drew Brees' contract, and the NFC East was overall mediocre at the time. The 49ers loomed alone as the Seahawks' toughest test to reach the Super Bowl. The season played out as seemed destined. In their first two regular season matchups, the Seahawks beat the 49ers at home, and then later in the season, the 49ers won in San Francisco. Come playoff time, the predetermined path that set these two teams on a trajectory for the ultimate showdown became a reality. As the Seahawks dispatched the Saints after their first-round bye, while the 49ers went on the road to take care of the Packers in frigid temperatures, and then the week after that, they easily handled the Panthers. The inevitable had arrived. Before the game began, Seahawks owner Paul Allen raised the 12th man flag, sending goosebumps through the crowd. This man not only saved the Seahawks from being stolen to Los Angeles, but above and beyond that, he committed to building a winner and had the Seahawks fans this close to a championship. They cheered their undying gratitude as Allen ran that cherished flag up the pole. After all the build-up and anticipation, it was going down. Russell Wilson looked ready, the line looked ready, beast mode was strutting. But the 49ers were primed too, and on the very first offensive play of the game, Russell Wilson fumbled the ball to Aldon Smith. The stomach of every Seahawk fan dropped. This was going to be a tight game, every possession counted, and Wilson just gave one away. The 49ers came onto the field for the first time in a position to strike. But this was the vaunted Seahawk defense of 2013, considered by some one of the top 3 defenses of the last 50 years. The 49ers were quickly 3 plays and out, though they did secure the game's first 3 points. After the ensuing kickoff, the Seahawks continued to try and run the ball to no success in the game's first punt. The 49ers hadn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 22 games. They had 2 of the best inside linebackers in football, in Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, with the unmovable Justin Smith always holding up blockers for them to run free. The 49ers got the ball back, and as if accepting they could neither run or pass against Seattle, unveiled their new plan of attack. Colin Kaepernick was an effective runner, but Harbaugh usually called his offense with a balance of run and pass, mixing in the occasional design Kaepernick run. But Kaepernick had just gotten done running all over the Packers for a second straight year in the playoffs. This was the height of the read option before its effectiveness started to wane. Facing the Legion of Boom in Seattle, and knowing the yards on the ground would be few, Harbaugh instituted the Kaepernick plan. This strategy was going to consist of empty bootlegs, the read option, keepers up the gut out of shotgun, any type of quarterback run that was in the playbook. And the strategy worked. The 49ers punted, but they were able to move the ball on the back of this strategy. Not too many men had the guts to talk smack to Marshawn Lynch on the football field. Aldon Smith, a man who once tried to drive through a tree after he'd already crashed into it, decided to mouth off to Marshawn early in this game. Money Lynch got back to him later, smushing his head into the turf.
It's just a little baby step for him.
Throughout the first 2 quarters, the Seahawks offense mainly tried outside zone runs. This may have been a ploy to later set up the inside zone's success, but it wasn't gaining them any yards in the meantime. The wide nature of the outside zone runs played into Willis and Bowman's strength, their lateral quickness and speed. If one of them wasn't sniffing out the run, then it was the other. Absent their vital running game, the Seahawks offense became stifled and reliant on the big play, which initially did pay dividends until Luke Wilson got his head pinballed off the turf. Back and forth the possessions went, no defense giving an inch, and it was only the Kaepernick plan in the first half that seemed the difference. The fleet-footed quarterback ran wild and had the 49ers in a position to score the first touchdown of the game, which they seemed to accomplish on a halfback dive that was initially ruled a touchdown, but then overturned. This made little difference on the scoreboard as the 49ers were able to score on the next play, but San Francisco suffered a huge loss when Pro Bowl guard Mike Iupati broke his ankle in the scrum. He would be the first, but not the last player carted off the field on this day. In the prior season, when the Hawks finally beat this Harbaugh-led team for the first time, Russell Wilson had one of the signature plays on the year when he scrambled back and forth, dodging 49ers left and right, and particularly making Ahmad Brooks look dumb, causing him to get juked twice in one play. Ahmad came back into this game seeking out his revenge. With the second quarter clock winding down, the Hawk offense desperate for a big play, Ahmad Brooks got his shot.
We gotta watch that quarterback now. He gonna start playing backyard football now, you know what I mean? Trying to make it happen. They gonna start pulling everything out the bag now, man.
Right after the snap, Russell went into his maniacal Fran Tarkenton 2.0 reboot. Brooks waited patiently on his block and approached slowly, under control. And when Russell let her rip, the outside linebacker unloaded on him. Doug Baldwin's innate ability to break off his route at just the right moment during Wilson's scrambles was always supremely underrated. Doug saw an opening in the 49ers coverage and broke deep. Like everyone on this day, he paid a stiff price for the catch, but the Seahawks got the shot in the arm they desperately needed. The Hawks' defense returned to the field with their swagger back and started laying the lumber. Quickly, they got the ball back to the offense. Offensive coordinator Coach Bevel, with help from Tom Cable, continued to stick to the outside zone runs to no avail. Finally, the coaches seemed to adjust or unveil the second phase of their offensive game plan because they changed to hammering the inside zone runs instead, and there were yards to be found.
Hey, I think running right at them is the best thing to do. 14, 15, run right at them, run right by them. They can't keep up with you. 8-6, Z pivot, on one right. Go get him, Marshawn.
The Seahawks were unable to score at the half, but they stayed faithful to the inside runs, and the dividends compounded when in the third quarter, Marshawn Lynch pulled off his Karate Kid kick 40-yard rumble to pay dirt. 3 tight end sets with an eligible offensive tackle as the third tight end have become a staple formation for Coach Carroll's offenses. It's big man bully ball as the Hawks send a wall of humanity at the opposition. If blocked right and aided by a runner who can break tackles at the second level, the formation has become formidable. But in front of beast mode, it was deadly. The score was tied. These teams were just so evenly matched, so familiar with each other. It felt like the game wasn't going to be decided by points, but inches. And this became the literal truth. The 49ers got the ball back and went right back to the Kaepernick plan, running an empty bootleg with Frank Gore as Collins' lead blocker. Again, it continued to work. Kaepernick got the 49ers right up the field and then made one of the more unusual, spectacular, funky passes you will ever see, throwing a ball with his shoulders faced forward while he leapt off his front foot. Somehow he got just enough juice on the ball to whip it past the outstretched fingers of Earl Thomas. It felt like the pendulum of momentum had swung back in the 49ers' favor. But as before, when the Hawks needed a big play earlier, Doug Baldwin answered the call. Forced into kick return duties because of injuries, Doug returned the next kickoff deep into 49er territory. While all they could manage was a field goal for Doug's troubles, the play and points seemed to neutralize that budding 49er momentum. In that same game from the prior year where Russell broke Ahmad Brooks' ankles twice in one play, Cam Chancellor executed the perfect, cleanest, modern-day knockout blow you will ever see. He takes his head out of the hit, shoulder pad to chest, and Vernon Davis's day was done. On a crossing route in the third quarter, Vernon again ran into Cam, and one doesn't even need to ask the man if he still feels it somewhere in his bones. To this day, Vernon keeps a 20-yard distance from Cam at all times. After another defensive stop, the Hawks offense got the ball back. They were able to do little but set up Stephen Hauschka for a 53-yard field goal attempt. Now, Hausch Money had skills as a kicker, but hitting 50-yard field goals was not one of them. He took one look at the kick's distance and it appeared the blood drained out of his face. Confusion broke out on the Seahawks sideline, and Coach Carroll called a last-second timeout.
What are you thinking? I think we should go for this, Coach. We're at our place.
If our guys won't jump, I want to go hard count. Yeah.
We've been using hard count all day.
Squeeze that right. Go tell every guy in the eye.
They're going all sides on the just normal ones.
After the break, Russell and the offense returned to the field for a fourth down attempt. We'll never know if they actually planned on running a play or if they were just trying to draw the 49ers off sides, but it worked regardless, and after a day of earning every yard they got, the offense had a free play to burn. Needing only 7 yards for a first down, the always ballsy Coach Bevel called a play that had all the receivers running go routes. Russell threw the pass so well, either Doug Baldwin or Jermaine Kearse could have caught it, and both nearly collided as the ball came down. Kearse made the cradling catch, and Seattle took the lead for the first time. The Seahawks defense played stellar throughout this game. There were no weak links. A player who stood out amongst the rest, though, was Michael Bennett, who played like a man possessed. The Seahawks lined him up all over the line of scrimmage, and it didn't matter who was across from him, or if it was run or pass, Bennett consistently beat his man like a drum, and usually right after the snap. The 49ers became so flummoxed by how to block him that by the fourth quarter they were nearly doubling him on every play. On great teams, there always seems to be a staple formation, a personnel grouping that can get a stop or score when you absolutely need it. In the early 90s, the Redskins dominated with their jumbo package, and in the early 2000s, the Rams' greatest show on turf had nearly unstoppable 3 wide receiver sets that turned games into track meets. The Seahawks had their own piece de resistance when it came to their Legion of Boom. Coach Carroll called it the NASCAR package, and it was more about personnel rather than coverage or scheme. Run from out of a nickel or dime package, NASCAR employed Cliff Averill at left end, Chris Clemens rushing from the blind right side, and Michael Bennett and Clint McDonald at defensive tackle. On early downs, Red Bryant, Brandon Mabane, and Tony McDaniel were on the field to explicitly stop the run. In NASCAR, Seattle essentially ignored the run, employing 2 3-tech pass rushing defensive tackles. This was even more enhanced by Michael Bennett lining up wide, just to the inside shoulder of Averill. Bennett's quick first step put any guard with slow feet on notice, and lining up so close to Averill, the two always kept the right tackle on edge for a stunt, causing them in a heartbeat to go from worrying about Averill's cat quickness to dealing with Bennett's brute power. The Seahawks under Coach Carroll year in and year out blitz the least amount in the league. The onus is on the front four to generate pressure. They have to work together. With Averill and Bennett running strong side games, Clint McDaniel having a career high in sacks, and Chris Clemens good for 10 sacks every year, the NASCAR package became lethal. Having hit the brakes on yet another fruitless 49er drive, Seattle had San Francisco backed up in their own territory in the fourth quarter. Out rev the NASCAR on third down to finish the drive off. Just before the snap, Averill and Bennett's head turned towards each other for a final note. Both players launch wide off the snap, and 49er pass protection struggles to mirror them. Averill gets around his man, and while Kaepernick is side-eyeing Bennett, Averill brings down his trademark tomahawk chop, knocking the ball free. This felt like the play to turn the tide. Up by 3 with a first down on the 6-yard line and beast mode in the back pocket, a touchdown felt certain. But when you're playing for the Super Bowl, things can get awfully tight. A fumbled handoff, an incomplete pass, and suddenly it was third down. This game was about tough men and great plays, and Navarro Bowman proceeded to pull off one of the great plays you'll see on a football field, stopping Jermaine Kearse from scoring a touchdown while tearing the ball free and seemingly recovering it all in one motion. Unfortunately, the amazing play cost him more than any other player in this game, as he destroyed his knee completely on the play and was never again the same player. Seeing the forced fumble, a pile of bodies dived in and around Bowman, and it was Beast Mode who came out with the ball. Officials ruled it Seattle's possession, and Coach Harbaugh had a conniption fit. All game he was his typical demonstrative self, but you could tell this one mattered just a little bit more to him. He lost his mind when he learned Seattle would retain possession, though it mattered little, as the Seahawks were stopped on the next fourth down play. In addition to Michael Bennett, Cam Chancellor was a difference maker on the field against the 49ers. Bam Bam Cam was seemingly in on every tackle. He played run support to near perfection, laid the wood on any receiver daring to catch a pass in his zone, and when the 49ers got the ball back after the Hawks offense whiffed, Cam picked off Kaepernick in the fourth quarter on a key interception. At the time, Ronnie Lott said, "Cam Chancellor right now is as good as any safety that's played in the game of football." That's high praise from someone many consider the best safety of all time. The Hawks offense took over after Cam's interception and nearly pissed it away. Every player looked tight, no one wanted to make a mistake, and so everyone started to make a mistake. Seattle was lucky to get a field goal as they tested that shallow strength of Hauschka's leg to his limit. This was going to be the final clash on a day of bloodletting that had shown the players no mercy. The Seahawks were up by 6, but the 49ers still had a good, clean chance to win it. There was plenty of time on the clock, and they still had their full complement of timeouts. As Seattle had all day, they shut down any 49er attempts at running the ball. Kaepernick was forced up against a wall to throw when Seattle knew he was throwing. He evaded pressure and completed some difficult throws, including the exact same pass he had just been intercepted on by Chancellor. Suddenly, the 49ers had gone right up the field on the stingy Seahawks defense, but they still had to get a touchdown. And as sterling a drive as Kaepernick orchestrated, he threw it all away on this final 49er offensive play. Seattle's defense was in their typical cover 3 alignment. Within the crux of this defensive scheme is the concept that offenses may dink and dunk as they please, but eventually they will grow impatient and try for a chunk play. And when they do, the defense will be ready.
Hey, they about to try me. They about to try me. I'm capitalized.
At the snap, both corners drop into their bail technique. Notice Richard Sherman and his confidence compared to Maxwell, lining up in press, as he was already beginning to bait Kaepernick. Kaepernick, in his post-conference, referenced having faith in making the throw he did because he had Crabtree one-on-one with Sherman, and he trusted Crabtree implicitly. The part he leaves out is that Kaepernick is throwing into Sherman's zone responsibility. Sherman's tight coverage makes it look somewhat like man, but it is zone, and he's well prepared for the fade route. In fact, it may have been the route he covered best throughout his career. The fearsome Seahawks pass rush was mostly neutralized on the final play. Kaepernick had time to throw, timeouts to burn, and open players he chose to ignore. Instead, he went to his first read, took Sherman's bait, and an iconic moment was born. Richard tipped the pass to Malcolm Smith, who caught the easy interception and held it like a baby. Richard quickly rubbed it in Crabtree's face, slapping him on the behind before offering a backhanded handshake. Crabtree understandably gave him a shove. And while some will give Sherman a hard time for this moment and his Aaron Andrews best in the world rant after the game, few are aware Crabtree tried to punk Sherman in the offseason at a basketball camp, and Richard was simply returning the favor, albeit in front of a national audience. The Seahawks offense returned to the field to take the victory formation. Game over, Seahawks win. After all the animosity, scuffles, and trash talk, it was over. Casualties were suffered on both sides. It had to be an extra especially sweet victory for Coach Carroll. His team not only beat their arch-rival at home for the chance to go to the Super Bowl, but he conquered his coaching nemesis. For Coach Carroll didn't start this war, but he sure as hell finished it. The Seahawks went on this season to winning their first Super Bowl in franchise history. They drubbed the Broncos in Super Bowl 50, and that team was recently touted as the best team of that decade. They were never able to quite reach the dynasty mark that once seemed like such a real possibility. But there is no denying the need to appreciate this game, this win, this team. The NFL doesn't play games like this anymore, and the players themselves don't often carry the same warrior spirit, unconcerned with self-preservation, only alive when the pads are popping and bodies colliding. I tell you, they just don't play them like that.